Wow, well, thank you very much. This is exactly what I expected. Very good behavior, because are we here for a happy occasion? No. We're here to celebrate Memorial Day, but Memorial Day is not a happy time for celebration. Instead, it's a sad and it's a solemn day when we show patriotism and loyalty to our country. It is the day when we remember all American people who have fought and died in our wars. We are here today to honor all of our military.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Sampson, and I'm from Mrs. Robishaw's class, and I'm here to lead you in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Unknown Soldier. There's a graveyard near the White House where the unknown soldier lies, and the flowers there are sprinkled with the tears from mothers' eyes. I stood there not so long ago with roses for the brave, and suddenly I heard a voice speak from out the grave. I am the unknown soldier, the spirit voice began, and I think I have the right to ask some questions man to man. I am the unknown soldier, and maybe I died in vain, but if I were alive again and my country called, I'd do it all over again.
Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little know, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. But it is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion, that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Long ago in the 1800s, a man named Henry Wells watched soldiers returning from the war. He was very glad that the war was over. He was also sad because so many of them died. Mr. Wells decided that something should be done to honor the soldiers, and he suggested setting aside a day to honor the dead soldiers and those who came back. On May 5th, 1866, the town of Waterloo, New York, held a celebration called Decoration Day. The people of Waterloo placed flowers and flags on the soldiers' graves. To honor the soldiers or veterans that came home, all of the veterans marched in parades. Decoration Day was both sad and happy. Sad because so many people had died, but happy because so many people had returned home and were alive after the war was over. The idea of Decoration Day spread across the United States. Everyone wanted to remember the people who had fought in our wars. People celebrated in many ways. Families gathered for many picnics. Towns held parades. People made patriotic speeches, and people placed flags and flowers on the graves of the soldiers. Today, we remember all those who died fighting in wars and those veterans who are still living with us today. We honor these brave people on the last Monday of every May, It is our way of saying thanks to our soldiers for keeping our nation safe. We were not here on Monday, so we are celebrating today.
Hi, I'm Sarah Powers, and I'm reading The American Hero by Roger Robichaux. The American hero always comes through to capture our hearts with a spirit so true. Some proudly are soldiers who march in harm's way, ensuring our freedom, courageous they stay. While others come forth as civilians so brave, determined in purpose, so steadfast to save. We should always keep clear a place in our heart, for each has a value beyond precious art. Their duty to country will not be surpassed. Please honor their courage, for some it's their last. We live in a world which can be hard to bear. Thank God for these people, how greatly they care. Do ponder new heroes and what they will face, and pray for their safety no matter their place. Our heritage brings out the best, we all know. Our great book of heroes is destined to grow. Roger Robichaux. Each Purple Heart shall always be a part of freedom's history. Hold deep inside a fervent pride for all who gave, the brave who died. They showed their best for liberty, they stood with us with certainty. Their wound of war, their Purple Heart, each dared to care and do their part. Some bore a wound which took their life, while others lived past war's honed knife. True patriots, they face their call to keep our nation strong for all. Deep scars of war are carried by those who return and those who cry. Pray for the brave, their loved ones too. Thank God for heroes, all of you. And I'm going to be reading the poem Home of the Brave by Roger Robichaux. Through the field of war they braved this day, how proud they stand their unselfish way.
Our soldiers bear what we cannot see. They are sure our right to live life free. Each train will face an unknown fate. Our support they need, don't hesitate. Just imagine how this land would be without their courage, catastrophe. All the liberties we have grown to know would not exist, this life would go. Find a thankfulness within your mind. Speak gratitude for our bravest kind. Have the willingness to show you care for fallen heroes, hold back no tear. Reach out to God with his guiding light, for our troops do pray both day and night. America, raise your flags to wave, for we truly are home of the brave.
We have one more thing. Yes, we were here to honor our military, but we're also here for another thing. Mrs. Bird. This is Mrs. Bird's last Pollard School Assembly, so we would like to honor her. This is from all the students. Thank you very much for everything. If we could clap.
Thank you, boys and girls. I really don't know what to say, but I have to tell you that you did the most beautiful singing today that I ever heard. And I'm so proud of everybody. And I think of all the thousands of children that I had the pleasure of teaching this land to. Would you do me a favor and just sing it one verse of This Land? This land is your land, this land is mine.